Alright, so in this video I'm just gonna talk about the idea of wanting people to respect you and wanting people to have a certain image of you, and I'm just gonna talk about that. I'm not gonna say it's bad or good. I'm just gonna talk about it and what happens with that, and how it's what society does, and how people are behaving, and how what I've experienced, and and all that. So to get started, I'm just gonna say this: people generally just a lot of what people do. Um, I don't know if it's entirely young people, but young people tend to do it more, old people less. Where it's like you're trying to make sure that people have a certain image of you. Um, it's like people want to appear a certain way to other people. People want to have a sense of themselves. They want to have a sense of identity, and they want to have it. They want to have that sense of identity. What is it? Reported back to them. So they want to know they want people to confirm their reality. This is a lot of what people do, and they want to be treated with respect. They want to get people to treat them well because maybe at some point when they were younger, they figured maybe it has to do with when you were raised. Because when you're raised, your parents just do everything for you. So maybe it's like maybe part of that is what's happening when you're just like a teenager or 20-year-old is like you're still kind of thinking, oh, if I can get people to like respect me and like me, then they'll do my stuff for me, and you see people with access to like interesting things, not being bored. People get this idea that if people like and respect them, they'll be less bored. They'll have more access to people and more access to adventures and resources that people have and people to talk to so that they can release their energies. And then there's the whole uh, tribe thing. See, so humans are tribal animals. We depend on each other, and that's because of just the way. I think predators tend to do better as solo animals than non-predator animals, because a predator can pretty much get along just fine by themselves. They just need to hunt shit down. Well, but there are predators that need to hunt stuff down with other, where they do it as a group. But some animals do just fine by themselves. So yeah, I mean, I guess so. What humans do with other people is they use other people in different ways um, to release ideas and thoughts to get a firmer grip on reality is what people do or a lot of people tend to do. Um, so the chase for respect, it's like it feels healthier if people respect you. Like it's like, oh, if people respect me, then they're not gonna mess with me, and they might even help me with stuff. So okay, so why do we want that? Why do we want people to why do we want people to help us with things? There's not much we need help with these days. So again, I know we can go back and think about as an animal and your survival rate and whatever, and maybe what our biology is designed to do. But just overlooking that for a second and just looking objectively and just thinking about how things are now, do we really need objectively, do we need people to help us? No, not really. Like, we don't need relationships, but it's the whole sense of meaning and stuff. So I guess what I'm looking at now is, okay, so, but you don't need people to respect you to have enough people around to to get what you need. Like, you don't need the cashier to respect you enough to do their job. They just do it because they're paid to do it. They're paid to do their job. Most people get a certain baseline of respect. You know, it's at some points you can get so. Some people are so disrespected inherently that people treat them with a lot of respect, like a disabled person. Like, generally, a disabled person, mental or physical, is going to get treated with more respect because people see them as unable to harm them and also kind of misfortuned. So people sympathize with that. But people tend to not want sympathy, respect. They want I don't know, they want to feel like people, I don't know. It gets confusing when you think about it because it's a flimsy idea, the idea of wanting people to treat you, quote, well. It's like, what do you want? You want them to buy you free food? Is that ultimately what you're after? If you want somebody to respect you? No, because there's plenty of people that have more money and they want people to respect them. They can pay for their own meal. What, they want to feel appreciated? They want people to... Do people want other people, and this extends to me, because I'm not it's not like I've never tried to impress anybody. I guess that's another part of it, is trying to impress people. So why would we want to impress anybody? Or what happens when somebody approves of you? What happens? Oh, you don't want to lose their approval. Oh, their approval, it's so valuable. What's valuable about their approval? And what's valuable about anything? I mean, it's because so any answer that you give to what makes that valuable is going to be ultimately it gets destroyed when you ask what makes that valuable. You go, oh, it's valuable for people to respect you because then you have more access to money slash expensive things. And you go, okay, what's valuable about money or expensive things? And that leads me to another thought I had, which was the old quote, the old expression, "Mo money, mo problems," is absolutely true. Because the more money you have, the more responsibility you have. Because all of a sudden you have this money to spend, and you have to decide where it goes. Because people have all sorts of ideas about where they think it's supposed to go. And you'll feel guilty about not using it the proper way. And then you'll have all these companies and such telling you to spend it with them. You gotta consider what's a better place for my dollar to go, you know? It's like if there's money to be spent, then it should be spent. But if you don't have any money, then you don't have that problem. This is a person with living paycheck to paycheck with only enough money to What I'm saying is their choices are obvious. The more money you have, the less obvious your choices are. And the more tempting it is to do some really stupid shit. And they'll say invest, but then even when you invest, you can get unlucky. Johnny Unitas, a famous football, he was a quarterback for the Colts. For a long time, thought the best quarterback of all time. And he lost all of it, pretty much all of his money on shitty investments. So stuff like that happens. So money in his case was definitely a problem. Hey, I think I'm gonna win this free for all. Let's check it out. Anyway, so what happens? What happens when somebody respects you? What happens? Well, I guess they would make you feel like at ease. It's like, oh, I guess you feel at ease because it's like they probably won't hurt you or steal from you. Maybe they'll do work for you. There's more opportunity. Yeah, I guess it's part of respect is if people respect you, you can rely on them to do you favors. But if you don't really want to ask people to do favors, I mean, if you're living the kind of life where you need to ask people for favors, I would say it's a losing game. Cuz you're pretty much I mean that's just kind of a lame way to live. I don't see why you would live in a way where you're asking people to do things for you. I mean, at that point, you might as well. I mean, that's just kind of a depressing way of living. So it's like, oh, I want respect so I can live in a depressing way. I don't know. Let's see. It's like, oh, you imagine a time you go, oh, I felt disrespected. Oh, that person didn't respect me. They didn't think. I guess another way of putting it is, they didn't see me as somebody that could provide value. Is that what respect is? Is respect the idea that this person is implying that I can or cannot provide value in their lives? I guess that's a good way of putting it. Why should I care? Why should you care if somebody thinks that you can provide value to them? I don't know. It's like, what, you really want them to believe that you can provide value? So what? So they'll like harass you and ask you to provide value all the time? Now, that's like a weird way of putting it, but that's pretty much what you're implying. If you're thinking in those terms, as far as like wanting them to respect you. Well, I mean, what? And if people don't respect you, then they pretty much leave you alone. But then also, what is respect? And I guess that's what we're looking at. Is we're looking at what is respect. And it's, I won that game. Oh, I won that game. Are you gonna respect me about it? Um. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Do I have any final thoughts? Something strong to close it with. I'd say the chase for respect from others is also what you're chasing when you're doing that. Is you're chasing a lack of self-respect, or that's what you're not chasing a lack of self-respect when you're chasing respect from others. You're you're getting that. So what would it be? What would the analogy be? Chasing respect from others. Oh, yeah, when you're chasing respect from others, you're running away from your self-respect. There you go. That's like the perfect way of putting it, huh? Um, yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching.